Hi there, my name is Miss Merchant and I'm your child's Spanish teacher for Year 8. I have had most of my students since Year 7 as well, so you might recognise me from previous parents' evenings. I'm going to talk to you just a little bit today about what we've been learning in Spanish recently, how we're coping with lockdown and home learning, and then a teensy bit about GCSE going forward if that is something that your child is interested in. So, what are we currently learning? At the moment, we're learning a topic called divertirte. You can see written on the screen. And divertirte means to enjoy oneself. So, it's all about free time and what we do to have fun. The first set of lessons we've done in lockdown was all about TV and learning about the different genres of television shows there are. And then we moved on to similar situations with film and the different types of films that are available, different genres, and also discussing what we like and what we don't like about them and why. Then recently we've moved on to the topic of te gustaría ir, means would you like to go, which is the topic of asking someone out or asking if somebody wants to go to the cinema or to the bowling alley or to the park or something. And then of course we've got to learn how to say potentially no. So then we learn how to give excuses using no puedo, I can't, to say why they can't go out, why they don't, or maybe they don't want to go out to wherever has been proposed. And then in the final week of lockdown, we're going to be learning, or final week of this half term, hopefully the final week of lockdown, we'll see. We're going to be moving on to problem pages and discussing in Spanish some basic problems that we might be having and how to give some simple advice for them. And then in our last lesson, in our last 2-hour slot, we're going to have an hour of revision to revise what we've been doing so far this half term, and then we're going to do a short knowledge organizer quiz. These knowledge organizer quizzes, hopefully pupils will be a little bit familiar with now, because we have done a few. We do them at the end of every single half term this year. So the knowledge organizer quiz is a quiz of 20 questions, and they're all multiple choice, which makes it a little bit nicer to do. This year, obviously, or this time, we're going to have to do them as online Google Forms. So in the lesson, there'll be links to the forms that pupils can click and then have a go at the test. You can see on the screen, if I move that, you can see here on the screen, I've got a list of all the things that we'll be looking at in the revision lesson. And these are all the things, again, that your child has been learning in this half term's worth of Spanish lessons. Okay, so home learning, a little bit different to classroom learning, although we still have specific expectations. So how we're tackling home learning. Students are set a PowerPoint for every lesson on class charts. And this PowerPoint is the same / really similar to the lessons that we would have been doing in class anyway, to make sure that students are still receiving the same education even though you're at home. The only thing we've done to combat the fact that obviously the teacher's not in the room with you, I'm not there, is we are putting a little bit more help on the slides, explaining all the explanations into English as well, instead of it just being in Spanish like usual. And on these PowerPoints, there's these little red boxes here, as you can see an example on your screen that says click here. And underneath each one of these, you're probably familiar with by now, there is a link to a Loom video, which means that people can just click on the link or copy and paste the link into their internet browser, and then they can watch the video, which is myself, one of the other teachers, talking over the PowerPoint for the lesson and explaining what needs to be done. And it also contains the audio for the listening activities, which are super important, because obviously without having a teacher in the classroom, pupils aren't being exposed to quite as much Spanish speaking as usual, so the listenings are very handy for them to be doing as well. As students are working through the activities, they need to be self-marking their work so they can see within themselves how they're getting on and what they're understanding, or maybe what they need to go back and have a little look at again. And then also it needs to be self-marked so that when we are asking them to upload their work onto class charts and I have a quick look at it, I can see more or less how they're getting on by seeing how many ticks and crosses they're getting and their scores that they're awarding themselves. But also I need to be able to see the work uploaded onto class charts so I can give students rewards for all the brilliant work they're doing. Okay, so for every single time I have work uploaded on class charts, I'm giving quite a few visas away, because it's very impressive that they managed to keep on with their work even with everything going on. If students want to, they can upload via class charts or email to me any extra work they're doing. It might be watching some Spanish TV via Netflix, something. It might be having a go at cooking something that they know is a Spanish recipe. If they do anything else like that, then they can always send it to me to get some extra bonus visas. Okay, so as well, I know you're probably aware that the options process is happening. So your child will be thinking about what they want to do for the next 3 years in the lead up to their GCSEs and what subjects they want to take. If your student is thinking about taking GCSE Spanish, I have already put up a video about options evening onto class charts. I put that on there in the recent weeks, and students should have watched that towards the end of their lessons. But if not, they can have a look on it, go back to their previous few weeks of assignments and class charts, and always click the link there to have a watch of it. Generally, we have had quite a lot of uptake for GCSE Spanish. It's been a very popular option recently. So in the last couple of years, we've always had 3 to 4 classes worth of students, which is quite impressive. I'm quite happy with that. And this is lovely. It's really good because it means that we can split up our pupils into ability tiers so that everyone can be in a class where they feel that they are supported and they're surrounded by students of a similar ability, so that they don't get stuck behind or they don't get stuck way ahead when they're waiting for others to keep up, so that everyone's got a class that is tailored to them, which is really great. So therefore, the most important thing when thinking, oh, should I take Spanish as a GCSE, is enjoyment. We just really want to find students that enjoy Spanish, because Spanish, it isn't the easiest of options, but it can be very enjoyable. So if your child is somebody who has quite liked doing Spanish over lockdown, and they are quite interested in Spain as a country and other Spanish speaking countries, it is one for them. Like I said, there's more information about GCSE on the options video, but I've just give you a little brief outline here. So there are 4 exams for Spanish. There's listening, reading, speaking and writing, and each of those are worth 25%. They're all just as important as the other, which means the speaking, potentially what people feel a bit nervous about, but it's also, that one's great for those people that are quite talkative, quite chatty. I know I've got quite a few of my class, so speaking bodes well for you guys. And you'll learn these 5 themes: identity and culture, local area and holidays, school, future aspirations and the world around us. And that includes learning about environmental issues, Spanish cultures and festivals, all about discussing school rules and the problems faced by young people in schools today, etc, etc. But yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever about how your child is getting on in Spanish, or about the options process, or anything else that you can think of with home learning, please do not hesitate to email me at this address here on the screen. Okay, email me at absolutely any time and I'll get back to you. And your students have my email address as well if they ever need to contact me for help as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully I'll hear from you all soon. Bye.